Welcome. Thank you for coming this evening. In opening, I'd just like to express my thanks to all of you who have joined us tonight to celebrate the special occasion with Carolyn. It is really a sign of Carolyn's special relationships with her friends that I can say people have nearly come from all corners of this country of ours. We have Tanya from Hoedspruit, or from the balcony now, the northern suburbs of South Africa. Melanie and Claire that have come from Cape Town, the southern suburbs of South Africa. And Grant and Laura, that have come from the Far East, Durban. I'm very lucky to have a sister like Carolyn. She's the complete deal. Graham, Carolyn being the intellectual that she was and is, I'm privileged to say that I've spent 86% of the 50 years with Carolyn. And speaking on behalf of my late dad and mom, she was always the apple of the eye. A special daughter indeed to them. Very close to my dad and a great shopping and cooking partner to my mom. Crikey, Carolyn, you can't go out like that. Put a jersey on. Or words of my mom that I'm sure is still echoing Carolyn's mind.
You're wearing a vest.
We used to use that excuse all the time. It was more like a black bra. My mom was always renowned for her lovely roasts. Some of you may have even experienced the roast potatoes. Carolyn has taken over the baton and raised the standards. Not only a great cook, but a fantastic host. Anyone who's ever been to a feast at Carolyn will know how stunning the table will be, the flowers will be perfect, and the wine will just be excellent. In thinking about tonight, I cast my mind back to the early years. Two scenes from those 8mm family movies come to mind. One of Carolyn and Mark playing on a string. Mark, don't look so worried. In full view of the camera, Mark leans over and sticks his finger into Carolyn's eye. I'll come back to that point. The second was of Carolyn running with a piece of pineapple in her hand whilst on holiday in Scotland. She trips and falls, gets up, wipes the pineapple clean of the sandy ground that she fell on, and continues, only to trip and fall again and have to get up again. That sums Carolyn up. No matter how life may knock her, she constantly gets straight back up. And she carries on as if nothing happened. So often she'll be the shoulder to cry on, but Carolyn is never the person that needs to cry on somebody's shoulder. Going back to the image of Carolyn falling with the pineapple and getting straight back up. We all know that today it would be totally different. The pineapple would be on a silver platter, next to a beautiful arrangement of flowers and a lovely roast of filet. She would also have a good bottle of red wine in the other hand, so she would never even think about tripping. Carolyn has always set high standards for herself. She achieved numerous distinctions in matric. She played sport for school and club. As Carolyn entered high school, I remember suddenly my big sister got a whole lot taller. The advent of high heels and the advent of prowling for boys. In hindsight, Carolyn always wanted the guy with the long, half-faluted name, that exotic name. Volker van Widden. Paul Cummings. Just to add a little bit of nature, Paul Cummings was one of the best 1500-meter runners for Greenside High School.
He ran away.
And, to take it all, Richard J. Ponsonby III. Those were a few that she set her sights on during high school. At the time, she also became lifelong friends with a guy in her class. I'm sure her classmates thought that he would be the most likely guy that she would get married to. Grant? Smith just didn't cut it.
Touché.
Carolyn went on to study pharmacology at Wits. Her studies at Wits meant that she made a lot of friends. Each year she would have to make a new friend. She had a habit of bunking. And the friend would bunk with her, and they'd go eat cake across the road. And the friend would fail at the end of the year, and Carolyn would have to make new friends next year. Carolyn has always generously given her time, money, expertise to help or assist anyone in need. I know this for sure. In the very same way she got up and cleaned that pineapple off, she started her career in the clinical trial industry. And has showed this resurgent quality in everything she does. She is always willing to be the helper and never the one that needs the help. And she's a cancer survivor as well. But as every girl dreams, one day they will meet Mr. Right. A friend of my dad's who worked at Telkom tried to convince Carolyn to go on a date with someone he knew. Carolyn strongly believed that this guy would not produce anyone that would come near to her standards. So she asked her single friend, Virginia, now living on a different continent, no small reason for that, to come and meet the date. Carolyn will be a wing girl instead of a wingman. Picture this, the two ladies waiting for this man to arrive. Suddenly, they hear the growl of a 3-liter engine. Did the guy from Telkom bring it for Tina? But outside, a green Porsche 911 pulls up and parks. Halfway an aerial on the motor. Out gets the tall blonde guy. Some say he was wearing Ray-Bans and a leather bomber jacket. All we know is that he said the following. The name is Harvey. Peter Glashagen. At this point, Carolyn would have recalled the image of Mark sticking his finger in her arm. The gloves came off. She fought dirty. No way was the friend getting this guy. One of being the wing girl. And she eventually married a man with an exotic surname.
Thanks, Graham. The speeches were supposed to be like 2 minutes each.
For long names.
Yeah, Carolyn and I met in 1991, and a lot of those details you just heard from Graham, how that happened. And we then married in October 1993, which is, of course, almost 20 years ago, 20 years in October. Which means our 20th wedding anniversary is coming up very soon.
Woo, wow.
Although time seems to go by faster and faster as we get older, our wedding day is the one that I clearly remember as the best and most significant of my life. I never forgot Carolyn walking down the aisle at St. Columbus Church, looking absolutely radiant, and knowing that we were both ready to share the rest of our lives together. Carolyn's most endearing quality is her unwavering commitment to her family. That, and of course, her cooking. In fact, I'm convinced that she subscribes to the belief that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. seriously though, Carolyn has always put the needs of her family first, even to her own detriment. By the time we get to 50, we usually want to slow down a bit and take a bit of a break and take it easier. But that doesn't seem to be on Carolyn's agenda. In the years since Kurt and Nick started school, she has added flower arranging to her repertoire, as well as managing numerous school-related events and functions, serving on the Pidwin EPA, and recently on the Pidwin School Board. All this on top of her full-time job at NetBase. The single biggest mission seems to be to get the boys to school with the best possible education. Carolyn is an endearing cynic and doesn't suffer fools particularly well. However, having said that, her heart, her generous heart, usually wins over in the end. I want to close by saying that 50 years is pretty old, actually.
You just cocked it up.
I meant to say it's a pretty significant age.
You always there. You always there.
But we can officially classify ourselves as old fogies now that we're 50. But I have an idea though. Maybe it's time for a new Porsche to take us back to those careful days 22 years ago. And on that note, I want to hand over to Kurt, who wants to say a few words about his mom.
Yeah. I'd like to start by saying hello to everybody, and on behalf of my brother and I, we'd just like to say thank you for coming and welcome. That's awesome. I would like to, I want to start by telling you some of the qualities that my mom has taught us and that we will always cherish for the rest of our lives. The first quality my mom has made sure we learn is kindness. She has led by example and made sure that we learn early in life to live with kindness and generosity towards others. The second quality we have learned from my mom is helpfulness. She's always willing to help, no matter what. With all those hours of homework you helped us with, I don't know where we'd be without you. I know sometimes Nick and I fight over who gets your help for homework first. But that's because if we went to Dad with our homework, we'd ask him what the answer was, and he would simply just say, "Well, what do you think the answer is?" Whereas you, Mom, you just say, "The answer is 50, next question." We are really grateful for all the help you give us. Mom's devotedness to us is always present. Living with you, Mom, we see that this is in everything you do. You put your all into whatever you do, and if it's not right, you make sure it's better than right. We see this and we apply this to our lives. This is another quality that we have learned from you, by example. And finally, your lovingness. Thank you for the unwavering love that you show to us and give us. We are truly grateful. We know what it means to be loved, and we know how to give it back to others. Thank you, Mom, for teaching us these critical qualities. When Nick and I want you to know something, we always try Mom first, because it's best. Because if we went to Dad, he'd ask us what we think. It's just so much easier going to Mom, because she gives us the answer. So now I ask you to join me in singing happy birthday to my mom, Carolyn.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carolyn. Happy birthday to you.
Well done.
There we go. Sorry, I have to say You thought you were going to get off live. Firstly, I brought her own voice. And secondly, you thought, well, she's not prepared, she's got no notes, so she's not going to get up and speak. Well, sorry for you. I'm not going to let this opportunity go past. Kurt, that's the first speech you have given that I haven't written. Every sentence has to have a finite verb. I just want to say a special thank you to all of you for being here tonight. I know Peter and Graham didn't touch on that. You've all made a huge impression on my lives. You've all left your footprint on my heart. And I go away from tonight with very special memories of the impact all of you have had on my life. Maybe different impacts from different people. I do want to just add to what Graham already said. I have some very special friends in the room. My longest, I don't want to say she's the oldest, because she's certainly the hottest young woman at the table.
No.
Melanie,
Can you turn around first?
On my very first day at school at our Griffiths Primary in 1970, I believe it was. We were placed next to each other in grade 1. We were still friends 44 years later.
Turn around.
Better for it than I do. But then again, you don't have any baggage along the way like I do either. But then talking about the baggage, well, let me stick to the friends first, just say what we first. Another very special person in my life, my very dear friend Tanya, who means the world to me and has come all the way from Hoedspruit with her lovely daughter Tara. And if there's one person that I can call at any time, day or night, who'll be there for me, it's Tanya. So thank you, Tanya, and I hope we can have another 44 years of friendship too. And then, as Graham mentioned, my high school buddy, Grant, who has been my... How do I put this?
The guy you would climb out windows for.
Every girl needs a male friend, somebody that she can bounce things off, skinner with, but not like another woman. Nobody that will steal your boyfriend from you. You need that bond, a special bond with another man, other than your husband. Well, Grant is my other bond husband. He fills that role. So thank you, Grant, for what you mean in my life. And then, of course, my very special family. I was lucky to grow up in a very close family with two marvelous brothers. My older brother, Mark, sitting at the back there.
He stuck his finger in your eye.
And, of course, Graham, who is a very integral part of my life. Thank you for all that you bring to my 50 years. Mark's been there longer than I have. Just like to add that. And then all the extended family that are here tonight, and even those that aren't with us tonight. You've all played a huge part in my life. And then my special family, my dear husband Peter, who puts up with my grumpiness, my bad moods, my irrational behavior, and perhaps a few good things along the way. Thank you for standing by me, and thank you for being the rock that the name Peter actually means. My lovely children, I'm so proud of you. You are my pride and joy. Thank you. And then my work colleagues, you keep me honest, you keep me sane, you give me a reason to get up in the morning. Phone you. That's Teresa. Teresa phones me at least twice a day, so at least I know that she's at work and I'm at work. It's one way of checking on each other. But thank you to everybody who's here tonight. You really have made this a special occasion for me. And last but not least, as I say, to my dear husband Peter, who has facilitated this function and made it possible for us to celebrate together. Thank you very much. I love you. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you. I'll shut up now. He's much bigger than that. My little boy, my backhand.
I can't begin to know when, but I know that's wrong. That it's rain, and it's rain became her son. We believe that you came along.